they go deep dive into the technical skills probably, and there was no much scope of growth as well, like in terms of promotions and all, if you see.
कंपनी टू कंपनी यू वेरीड द योर स्ट्रैटेजी कि मुझे इस बार ऐसे क्रैक करना है, अगली बार ऐसे प्रिपेयर करना है.
So for product based companies you have to work little hard. Few companies they don't much focus on data structures algorithms, but they focus on
Hi everyone, welcome back to Bosscoder Academy's YouTube channel. Today we have invited Kapil on our podcast, who is a senior software engineer working in Walmart. So Kapil started out from TCS and then he made 3 switches in order to get to Walmart. Today in this podcast we are going to ask him about his strategies and how did he prepare for the interviews as well. Kapil is also going to share a lot of other details about how you can maintain consistency and what all is important while making a job switch as a software engineer. Like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can be a part of every tech conversation that we have in future. Now let's start the podcast. Hi everyone, welcome back to Bosscoder Academy's YouTube channel, and Kapil has finally joined us. Thank you so much for joining on this podcast, Kapil. And we can start with a brief introduction about yourself.
Yeah, sure. First of all, I would like to extend my thanks for inviting me over this podcast. And I know we were discussing over a few last weeks that we are going to have this podcast, so I'm pretty excited. Thanks for inviting me. And hello everyone. My name is Kapil Raghuvanshi. I'm working as a senior software engineer for Walmart Global Tech India. I'm quite passionate about tech. I do write tech articles on Medium, and since last 4 or 5 months I've started my YouTube channel as well for creating tech content. So on and all, I've started my career with TCS through my campus placement, and then I switched to few companies, and right now I'm working with Walmart. So this is just a glimpse of my career and kind of my introduction.
And while transitioning from service-based companies like Cognizant and TCS to product-based companies like Ola and Walmart, I mean, it can be a bit challenging, right? So what were some of the biggest difficulties that you encountered, and how did you adapt to those difficulties?
So that's perfectly correct that the challenges are quite different once you work in two sets of companies, the service based and product based. So as I said that I started with TCS, and TCS the environment was a bit different than any product based companies or startup, I would say. Most of the product or the tech thing you get to work on, the tech projects basically are more or less support projects, I would say, and your clients are mostly from US, UK, or some of the big names. Let's say I was working for a telecom giant from United States when I was working in TCS, and so there are a lot of projects basically, I should say, and the tech stack is not that the new, I should say. We were still using old versions of Java, and we were still trying to figure out how we can migrate to some other front-end technologies or back-end technologies. So I would say tech stack wise they lack in some kind of newer versions or latest technologies. Also about the growth, if you see there, it's very hard, because most of the time I saw my colleagues, they were only focusing on going to on-site, because these companies only gives you the better hope is just to go on-site. And once you talk about the pay scale, that is also quite less if you start with. But I would say I'm grateful to those companies because they gave me a chance to join this IT industry. It's good that at least you have a jump start from any of these companies.
Okay. And how did you adapt to these changes while switching to product-based companies?
So it's a bit difficult because, as I said, that the environment is a little different. So for product-based companies, you have to work little hard, and the product-based companies require your core tech skills. They evaluate on those skills. Let's say the DSA, I would say problem-solving skills basically. and data structures and algorithms, the system design part, and they go deep dive into the technical skills probably. Let's say if you predominantly from the front end stack, जैसे कि आप अगर रिएक्ट एंगुलर में काम करते हैं या फिर आप बैकएंड में है गो या जावा यूज़ करते हैं, सो प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनीज में जब इंटरव्यूज होते हैं राइट, सो दे गो डीप इनटू द टेक स्किल्स. बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हैं जहां वो डिस्कस करते हैं, क्वेश्चंस पूछते हैं और आपको डिफरेंट डिफरेंट पैरामीटर्स में एवेलुएट करते हैं. तो डिफिकल्टी क्या है, चैलेंज ये रहता है जब आप सर्विस बेस्ड कंपनीज में काम करते हैं और आपको एक प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी का इंटरव्यू देना होता है, तो जो डिफरेंस इन द एनवायरमेंट है वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है. लेट्स से अगर आप एक प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी में काम कर रहे हैं और आपको स्विच करना है सेकंड प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनी में, तो इट कम्स लिटिल ईजी आई वुड से देन एज कम्पेयर टू सर्विस बेस्ड टू प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड. तो आपको एक्स्ट्रा माइल जाना पड़ता है, थोड़ा और हार्डवर्क करना पड़ता है, थोड़े और प्रिपरेशन जो लेवल होता है वो उसको आपको और आगे बढ़ाना पड़ता है ताकि आपको प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनीज के इंटरव्यू क्रैक कर पाए.
राइट. एंड जैसे करियर ग्रोथ करनी है लाइक आपको एज अ सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर, टू इट इज सेड कि आपको जॉब स्विच तो करना ही पड़ेगा, राइट? यू विल हैव टू स्विच जॉब्स इफ यू वांट टू अचीव करियर ग्रोथ एज अ सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर. सो व्हेन समवन शुड स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट मेकिंग अ स्विच कि मुझे अब स्विच करना चाहिए इन दिस जॉब?
या श्योर. सो वेल इट डिपेंड्स ऑन कि आपको कैसा फील हो रहा है किसी पर्टिकुलर कंपनी में. जैसे कि लेट्स टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ माइन ओनली. आई वाज वर्किंग फॉर TCS लेट्स से इन 3 years, first 3 years. Initial first 1.5 year it was okay. I was learning new things because I was new to project. I was meeting new peoples from different parts of globe. So कुछ नया learnings थे मेरे लिए. और फिर 1-1.5 साल या 2 साल के बाद मुझे ऐसा लगा कि वही रिपीट हो रहा है. मतलब देयर इज नथिंग न्यू टू लर्न फॉर मी एंड देयर वाज नो मच स्कोप ऑफ ग्रोथ एज वेल लाइक इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रमोशंस एंड ऑल इफ यू सी. तो व्हाट आई वुड सजेस्ट इज, आप जहाँ भी काम कर रहे हैं, जो भी आपकी करंट कंपनी, आप देखिए कि आपका नेक्स्ट गोल क्या होना चाहिए. अगर आपको लगता है कि वो आप अचीव कर पा रहे हैं और कंपनी भी उतना ही आपको सपोर्ट दे पा रही है जितना कि आप हार्डवर्क कर रहे हैं कंपनी के लिए, तो आई वुड सजेस्ट कि यू स्टे इन द कंपनी. It shouldn't be based on particular time, because I saw people say that okay 2 years or 3 years it's a perfect time for switch. I wouldn't say that because I have switched in 3 years as well and 1 year as well. So it depends on your current project, your current manager, your current tech stack. अगर आपको मज़ा आ रहा है, आप enjoy कर रहे हो, तो definitely you should stay. But अगर लग रहा है एक टाइम के बाद कि नहीं हो पा रहा है, your team is not supporting you, your manager is not supporting you, I think then that those are the signals you can take advantage of. You should analyze those signals any particular moment of your existing job, and then you should start working for the transition in your career.
Okay. And what was your strategy to switch between these companies? मतलब कोई specific set strategy थी आपने जो हर बार follow करी, या फिर company to company you varied your strategy कि मुझे इस बार ऐसे crack करना है, अगली बार ऐसे prepare करना है?
जी बिल्कुल. स्ट्रेटजीज तो थी बिकॉज व्हेन आई वाज इन TCS इट वाज इन अहमदाबाद एंड देयर वर नॉट मैनी कंपनीज एट दैट टाइम. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट 2015-2016. तो मेरे लिए सबसे बड़ा ऑब्स्टेकल ये था क्योंकि उस सिटी में इतनी कंपनीज नहीं थी जैसे कि हमें हैदराबाद, बेंगलोर और पुणे और NCR में देखने को मिलती हैं. तो मेरे लिए स्ट्रेटजी ये थी कि आई हैव टू फाइंड आउट कंपनीज विच आर नॉट इन माई सिटीज़ and then approaching them somehow through LinkedIn or through online portals. And what I was doing is I was going through the Medium articles and LinkedIn as well, the people who are working on those companies. I was trying to approach them. I was asking ki what are the typical interview rounds your companies has and how I can fit in those. So strategies ऐसे थी कि I was just targeting few set of companies. Let's say these are the companies in BFSI domain, banking and finance, and these are the companies digital marketing domain. तो उनमें कौन से इंटरव्यू राउंड्स होते हैं और जो लोग लिंक्डइन पे या कहीं काम कर रहे हैं, तो आई वाज ट्राइंग टू चैट विद देम कि कैसे आपने इंटरव्यू क्रैक किया या किस किस पोजीशन के लिए आई कैन अप्लाई. तो इट डेफिनेटली डिपेंड्स कि आप जिस कंपनी के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हैं वहाँ का इंटरव्यू स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है, क्योंकि कहीं कहीं कंपनीज दे आर मोस्टली फोकसिंग ऑन प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल्स, जो कि फर्स्ट राउंड दे विल टेक एज अ स्क्रीनिंग राउंड, देन डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स एंड देन एल्गोरिथम्स. फ्यू कंपनीज दे डोंट much focus on data structures and algorithms, but they focus on your core technical skills. Let's say आप अगर फ्रंट एंड से आ रहे हैं तो they will mostly focus on React हुआ, और जैसे मॉन स्टैक भी हो, फुल स्टैक जावास्क्रिप्ट डेवलपर, तो वो वहाँ पे फोकस करते हैं. they have multiple rounds, 2 rounds, 3 rounds in particular to those skills. But on the other hand, few companies they focus like around 80% times problem solving skills in DSA. Only 10 to 20% they give it to your technical skills. तो आपको जिस कंपनी के लिए टारगेट करना है उस कंपनी का स्ट्रक्चर, इंटरव्यू स्ट्रक्चर जानने की कोशिश कीजिए. If it is possible, you can go to LinkedIn, you can approach few of the HRs from that company, few of the folks who are already working in your, let's say you are working for SD2 and you are going to apply for SD3. So just try to reach out to few SD3 there, and then you can get to know more about the interview process there.
And how should you perform at your current company? Keep performing कि आप जो current job है उसमें भी अच्छा कर रहे हो, and simultaneously you are able to prepare for the interviews. तो उसके लिए कोई आपने strategy follow करी या फिर you gave most of your time to interview preparation only?
Yeah, so it's quite challenging. I understand once you are performing well in your current company, or let's say the work is quite tedious, and you're still figuring out how you can take out time for your career transition or switching to the different companies. So it's very difficult for everyone, I should say, because handling two things, managing two things at the same time, it's a bit tedious, I know. But what I did is it was a time of COVID, and there was forced work from home for most of the companies. So I think it came to my advantage at that time. I think I switched twice during that 2 or 3 years of COVID period. So once you do not go to office physically and you are working from home, I would say it gives you some kind of an edge, right? You can give more time for preparations, for interview preparations. So let's say if you have 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, whatever particular time, in the around the lunch time also, if you get some time, you can prepare, or you can go over some interview questions. You can try out some small problem, let's say a small coding question on lead code for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. So this is what I did. Like I used to get up early, and before working for office, I used to give 2-3 hours for my preparations, and then after my office evening time also I used to give 3-4 hours. So around 5 to 6 hours I have to prepare during the COVID time. It was a bit tedious, I know, and the environment was also not that good. But yeah, if you want, you have to work hard basically along with your job, because I don't see many of the companies, many of the teams or their project managers are supporting you for giving such interviews or preparing for some different companies. Because if they get to know, they focus on giving more work to you, and they also analyze your current performance as well.
Right. So can you please break down the interview processes for these product based companies, like कितना DSA पूछा जाता है, कितना सिस्टम डिज़ाइन पूछा जाता है, एंड फ्लो कैसा होता है इंटरव्यू का?
या डेफिनेटली. सो आई थिंक एज आई सेड, मेरे जो टेक कंटेंट मैं बना रहा हूँ मेरे यूट्यूब चैनल पे, वहाँ पे मैंने कुछ वीडियोस बनाए हैं कि हाउ यू कैन क्रैक एनी बिग प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनीज, व्हाट आर द इंटरव्यू स्ट्रेटजीज एंड व्हाट आर द वर्क कल्चर एंड एवरीथिंग. बट हाँ, मैं आपके लिए बताना चाहता हूँ, लेट्स से आप एक अच्छी प्रोडक्ट बेस्ड कंपनीज या स्टार्टअप देखना चाहते हैं, तो फर्स्ट राउंड उनका स्क्रीनिंग राउंड होता है. स्क्रीनिंग राउंड भी अराउंड प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग होता है, जिसमें कि वो 2 कोडिंग क्वेश्चंस आपको देते हैं DSA के, और टाइम होता है अराउंड 50 to 55 मिनट्स. और वो किसी भी ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म में हो सकता है, जैसे कि हैकर रैंक हुआ, हैकर अर्थ हुआ, ऐसे बहुत सारे ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं. कुछ कंपनीज के खुद के भी हैं, जैसे आई वाज गोइंग फॉर अमेजॉन और गूगल, दे हैव देयर ओन इनबिल्ट प्लेटफॉर्म्स फॉर इंटरव्यू. तो फर्स्ट राउंड होता है स्क्रीनिंग राउंड. अगर आप वो निकाल लेते हैं तो उसके बाद आपके एक्चुअल इंटरव्यू राउंड स्टार्ट होते हैं. तो स्क्रीनिंग राउंड के एक क्रूशियल बात यह है कि वो नॉकआउट राउंड होता है. लेट्स से आपको 2 कोडिंग राउंड दिए, और इफ यू आर एबल टू सॉल्व बोथ ऑफ देम विद 100% टेस्ट केसेस, देन डेफिनेटली यू आर इन. But let's say what I have witnessed in my experience is, let's say if you solve one coding problem, 100% test cases solved. Another one is, let's say if you're a bit struggling and you could solve around 50 to 60% test cases, then also most of the time the companies are letting you through, because they know, right, it's not always that you can solve each and every question. So I would say out of 2, 1.5 question you have to solve to crack the screening round. Then once you are in, the first round again will be pure DSA. And so it depends on which companies you are giving interview. So it could be 1 or 2 more rounds for DSA. So first round DSA में होता है 1-on-1, जैसे हम लोग अभी बैठे हैं एक दूसरे से बात कर रहे हैं, kind of a code pair round. They will give you a question, and mostly they ask you to solve in doc or like non-ID environment. most of the companies I witness, they don't give you kind of a VS Code or Eclipse to solve questions. They just give you a plain kind of a notepad, and you have to solve them. And then what they do is they try to analyze your thought process, how you are solving a problem, how you are coming up with different approaches, and what are the time complexities, what are the space complexities, and everything. So it's not always that there are no test cases basically for these round. It is one-on-one. They try to analyze your approaches basically. So if you give them a solution within time, let's say 55 to 60 minutes, which works better, let's say log n time or log n square, whatever suits well to the problem, they will let you in, and they will pass you for the next rounds. Now let's say 1 or 2 rounds here for DSA. So overall we have got 3 rounds. Fourth round onwards, what they will see is your core technical skills. Let's say if you're coming from the front end background or the mobile application development background or the back end. Mostly I saw these things. If you are coming from the data science background as well, then they again analyze you through machine learning skills or Python they are going to ask. Now they will deep drill about these core technical skills. Okay, so जो आपने already काम किया है आपके previous experiences में, वो आपसे पूछते हैं. उसके बाद वो वहाँ पे और ज़्यादा एनालाइज करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि आपने कितना ज़्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट किया उस प्रोडक्ट में जो आप ऑलरेडी कर रहे थे. और फिर वो एनालाइज करते हैं और फिर आपको अराउंड एंड अराउंड क्वेश्चंस पूछते रहते हैं जो भी लैंग्वेज स्पेसिफिक हैं या टेक स्टैक स्पेसिफिक हैं, और उसके बेसिस पे आपको एनालाइज करते हैं. नाउ अगर हम यहाँ देखें तो अराउंड 4 से 5 राउंड हमारे होते हैं. नेक्स्ट राउंड कम्स फॉर सिस्टम डिज़ाइन, एंड नाउ सिस्टम डिज़ाइन डिपेंड्स ऑन योर I would say experience. Let's say you have less than 2 or 3 years of experience, you're highly likely not to, they won't ask you any system design questions. But more than 3 plus of experience, definitely they are going to ask. So for system design round also there are 2 things. Let's say HLD, LLD, you need to prepare both of them. If you are appearing for the senior rounds, mostly they will be focusing on HLD part. So all in all, 5 to 6 typical interview rounds are there for any big product based companies. I have appeared around 40 to 50 companies, and this is typical I would say interview structure for most of the companies, not only in India. If you see around the globe, I have appeared few companies from Japan, Germany, and even United States as well. So this is a typical rounds of interviews we get.
And balancing technical expertise with leadership skills, I mean, for senior roles it is very essential, right? So how did you cultivate leadership skills being a software engineer, and any advice that you would like to give to aspiring tech leaders of the future?
Yeah, definitely. So let's say what kind of leadership skills you can cultivate within your team. So first of all, what I would suggest is आपको टॉप से लेके बॉटम तक जो भी डेजिग्नेशन में आपके इंजीनियर्स हैं या जो कलीग्स हैं जो काम कर रहे हैं, आपको सबको एटलीस्ट अटेंड करना चाहिए. लेट्स से इफ यू आर राइटिंग एन ईमेल, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू अ टिपिकल एग्जांपल हियर. अगर आप छोटा सा छोटा ईमेल लिख रहे हैं या कोई सक्सेस स्टोरीज लिख रहे हैं जो कि आपने कोई अच्छा इनिशिएटिव पिकअप किया, 2-3 months यू टुक एंड इट वाज एंटायर कलेक्टिव एफर्ट्स. सो बीइंग अ लीडर, बीइंग अ ट्रू लीडर, व्हाट यू शुड से कि जो एफर्ट्स था पूरे एक प्रोजेक्ट का था, सारे कलीग्स का था, तो आप सबको आपको अटेंड करना चाहिए कि ठीक है, इट्स नॉट ओनली द टॉप लीडरशिप हु गिव यू सपोर्ट, it's also the people who are the junior engineers, who are the freshers, those also took extra time out. So first thing what I would suggest कि आपको सबको अटेंड करके सबका रोल और सबको एक अपनी अपनी अहमियत बतानी चाहिए कि आपका भी कंट्रीब्यूशन इम्पॉर्टेंट था. So mostly what people do is right, they just try to enhance the role or the efforts by their colleagues and the senior people. They sometimes forget to जो भूल जाते हैं कि जूनियर इंजीनियर्स का भी काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल था उस इनिशिएटिव्स को कंप्लीट करने के लिए. तो एक चीज़ तो यह है. दूसरी चीज़ यह है कि जैसे अगर आप किसी भी लीडरशिप स्किल्स में हैं तो आप सबसे पहले ये प्रोसेस बनाइए आपकी उसमें कि जो अवार्ड्स होते हैं, राइट, लेट्स से वुराबो अवार्ड्स, जो छोटे छोटे अवार्ड्स होते हैं, मतलब नीड नॉट टू बी एनी मनी रिलेटेड टू इट, बट काइंड ऑफ बैजेस यू हैव. हर कंपनी में होते हैं. मैंने जितनी भी कंपनीज में काम किया, ऑलमोस्ट ऑल वैरायटी ऑफ कंपनीज, दे हैव सम काइंड ऑफ अ रिवॉर्ड सिस्टम. But most of the time, project managers and senior people forget to, follow that one. So what I would suggest कि आपको ये system लाना चाहिए, let's employee of the month or let's say hero of the month, something who has done extra bit for the initiative, for the project, for the company. तो आपको ये अवार्ड सिस्टम जारी रखना चाहिए. इससे क्या होता है, एक छोटे लेवल पे मोटिवेशन मिलता है, और हर लेवल का एम्प्लॉय जो होता है, लेट्स से जूनियर इंजीनियर, सीनियर इंजीनियर और द डिस्टिंग्विश्ड इंजीनियर, सबको अपने अपना रोल की अहमियत मिलती है, उनको एक रिवॉर्ड दिखता है सामने, तो वो मोटिवेट होते हैं नेक्स्ट फेज ऑफ इनिशिएटिव्स के लिए.
Okay. And I think continuous learning is there in tech always, right? Matlab, how do you stay updated with the latest industry trends and technologies, right? Are there any resources or any techniques that you follow to stay updated and that you can recommend to other engineers as well?
Yeah, sure. So that is true. I agree with you that continuously learning in tech industry is very crucial for, at least, no, I wouldn't say for switching jobs always, for staying in your current company as well. Because most of the time the big companies, what they do is, whenever new technologies or new framework gets launched, they try to migrate into that. So if you are stubborn that okay, I won't learn new things, I won't learn new frameworks or new technologies, it would be very difficult for you guys to stay in the IT industry. So it is very important to learn and learn continuously. So we have that phrase, right? Learn, unlearn, and again learn, relearn. So that is very important basically. What I follow is, like, there are lots of tech newsletters. I do follow. If you want, I can share you that. We have the Martin Pierce and the Replay, TLDR. These are some examples of tech newsletters. Also, I go over lots of YouTube channels as well. तो अगर आप देखेंगे बहुत सारे YouTube चैनल्स हैं, जैसे अक्षय साइनी हुआ, अर्पित बयानी हुआ. दीज गाइज आर लाइक ट्रू जेम्स इन आर टेक इंडस्ट्री. अगर आप उनके यूट्यूब वीडियोस देखते हैं, बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है, नई नई चीज़ें सीखने को मिलती है, नई अप्रोचेस, नई फ्रेमवर्क्स. तो आई स्टे अपडेटेड इन टेक यूजिंग दीज रिसोर्सेज.
Okay. So now there will be a small, we are going to do a small activity, okay? In which I'll present the screen and you'll have to identify कि ये जो logo है जो screen पे दिख रहा है वो किस चीज़ का है basically. Okay. I'm sure you'll be able to identify all of them, but let's see how many of them you get right. Okay.
Yeah, excited.
Yeah, now we can start. Okay, so we are starting now, है ना? I think this one, can you say it again?
Yeah, it's MongoDB.
Okay, this is MongoDB. What's this one?
This is the act,
Pretty
our
easy.
favorite. This is VS Code, yeah. Again, our favorite ID.
Correct.
This is some kind of a tool we have for CI/CD, but yeah, I'm not able to recall.
Okay. And what's the last
Angular,
one?
Angular.
Angular. 4 out of 5, correct? Right? And the only one that you're not able to get correct was Flask.
Yeah, it was Flask, yeah. Because I don't work in the Python side, right? That could be the reason.
Yeah, that could be the reason, right? That you were not able to get it. You know? Now we have another round, and I think it is equally exciting. It is called rapid fire. So you will have to answer questions within 10 seconds of hearing the question. Okay, so you are ready, and we can proceed.
Yeah, sure.
So let's say if you had to choose only one programming language, what would it be?
JavaScript. Like I'm a JavaScript guy. I prefer JavaScript for all things, front end, back end, mobile applications, everywhere.
Okay. And if you're not an engineer, what would you be?
I would be a cricketer for sure because I love playing cricket. I do that on weekends as well nowadays.
Okay, that's great. What is something that is on your bucket list for a long time, but you're not able to do it?
Bucket list. I was thinking of, singing a song by myself, writing lyrics and then recording it. But yeah, it has been pending since like 5, 6 years, but I'm not able to get time. But yeah, sometimes I'll see that.
Yeah,
I would
it's
like to sing.
something I think you should definitely try it out. You know?
I'm not a good singer. I'm just a bathroom singer, I would say. But yeah, this is something in my bucket list.
Would love to hear it. And
Great.
would you rather work till late night or wake up early to work?
I'm a night owl, so I would prefer late at night.
Same here, same here. And what's your favorite energy drink to have while coding?
Basically, I don't prefer any kind of energy drink, but yeah, cold coffee would work fine when I'm coding. Yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of coders go for coffee.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
right.
So I'm also with them.
A week without your phone or a week without your laptop?
Uh, because my family is, quite बहुत परेशान रहते हैं. I'm like kind of, always active on my phone. So I would say a month without laptop because most of the work I do in my phone as well. Recording, editing, and then publishing. So I can stay without laptop, but I won't be able to stay without my phone.
And which one would you choose? Linux, iOS, or Windows?
No, I'm a Mac fan.
Apple,
Macintosh.
Apple
I
ecosystem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Okay.
fond of it.
Which company are you switching to next?
Uh, I just posted on LinkedIn again that there's no company is your dream company. This is a thought I just got to know because I saw layoffs from all my dream companies since last 1 year.
Hmm.
Be it Google or Amazon. Every big companies are doing a round of layoffs. Since last 1 year. But yeah, if you are talking still from my perspective, Google is my dream company, and it was and it will be. So if it is on my hand, if I could crack, I appeared, one time before. But yeah, if it will be again, then I'll definitely appear for Google.
Yeah, you going forward, you'll try for Google again, might be, you know. Okay. Acha, it has been a very good podcast till now. I'm sure our users will be loving it too. Um,
Mhm.
Another thing I wanted to know is that any advice that you like to give to junior engineers, who want to become at your level, come at your level, like senior software engineer, right, in a product-based company, from your own experiences and learnings.
Okay. So I think some pointers we have discussed over this podcast as well. First thing is you have to continuously learning, and second thing is you have to be aware of what's going on tech industry around you. It's not about your project, your company, your tech stack. You should be aware of what's going on, in the Python space, in the machine learning space, and right, after launching this chat GPT, the world has changed. So, but if you do not adapt to it, it would be very difficult for you in your coming years or in coming days as well. So first of all, always be ready to learn new things, not only about tech skills or tech stack. Let's say there is nothing new. You can be easily a prompt engineer. You can learn how to work with ChatGPT. It's not only you have to be a machine learning engineer or AI engineer to use that.
Right.
So do always be open to learn new things. First thing. Second thing, it depends on which background you're coming from. Let's say if you're coming from tier 3 college or service-based companies, it becomes even more harder for you. So take that as challenge because nothing is, impossible for you. Everything is possible because if I could do it or if everybody is doing around you, they are posting YouTube videos, they're posting, Medium articles on LinkedIn. You see, right? Everywhere people are transitioning and they are just switching to bigger companies, service to product to big startups, and then kind of a fang or man companies. So you can also do that. It's just the game of some preparation strategies which you need to learn. For that you could learn from the folks who are already working on the farm companies. You can have some people as your mentors. You can ask them about the guidance and all. So it is not impossible, but you have to do extra hard work than the rest of the people if you want to, jump to you have to make a bigger jump.
Right.
And I think yeah, these
Hard
are the
work
two
is
things.
necessary, and I think you rightly mentioned, uh, you have to keep yourself updated, keep learning new skills. Consistency, I think one thing is that many software engineers say is necessary.
Yeah, yeah. Also, that is also necessary. Let me just throw some light on that part, because most of the time, you have some good preparation strategy, you are, fully motivated, but these things, do not come in, couple of months or 2 months, 3 months. It takes time.
Yeah.
So the consistency is very important. Most of the time, you must be feeling some kind of challenges at your work, at your current job, makes this preparation difficult. But you shouldn't be losing consistency at all. The jump or the transition takes around 5 to 6 months. When I am taking, multiple sessions on TopMate, I would suggest, and I give them a preparation plan around 8 to 9 months. I do not tell them that, okay, you can achieve any big companies in 2 to 3 months. It is not possible, I wouldn't say. So instead of, saying that, okay, just buy my course or join my cohort, you will be able to crack any big companies in 2 to 3 months. It is very difficult, and it is not possible as well. What is possible is if you consistently prepare for more than 6 months, and that also depends on your existing core skills and your preparation, and which background you're coming from. So
Right.
yeah, that is also one thing.
I mean, we also have programs for that, like for people who want to upskill themselves and get into product-based companies. And those programs also, they are not like for 3 months or 4 months. They also take time, consistency, consistent efforts, mentorship, a lot of those things, to get some results. And the results are good. So I think good things take time, always, right? As you rightly mentioned. So be consistent and keep upskilling, I think is your motto, right?
Yeah,
And I had a great time today on this podcast. I hope our audience learned a lot from you. We will attach his LinkedIn profile in the description. You can connect with him on LinkedIn. And maybe if you want to connect with him on TopMate, you can connect with him there as well, right? Thank you so much, Kapil, for joining with us today on this podcast, and see you around next time as well.
yeah, definitely. Thanks for inviting me as well. I really enjoyed this time in the podcast, and I think we discussed some crucial points. I think most of our, the YouTube subscribers would be able to learn from this podcast on, how to prepare and what are the important things once you are working in your current company, what are the challenges and all. Yeah. So I had a great time. Thanks for inviting me. And
Makes sense.
yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you so much.